Well, I'll tell you, it was kind of quiet today. Everything was normal, and then around 2 o'clock, you saw the S&P futures trade from 68.65 all the way down to 68.36 before rallying back up to 68.62, and it was wild. In 25 minutes, the S&Ps dropped 29 and ran 26. Unbelievable volatility out of nowhere. It was pretty calm today. Pretty much of the day. We saw the overbought conditions early, like I told you, on the highs of the day, running into a wall of resistance, into the negative MACDs on the 30 and 60-minute time frames. We saw caught some really great shorts there. The markets dropped. And then even with that drop, down to 68.36.25, the spiders and the Qs was still deeply in buy territory on the underlying ETFs on the 30 and 60-minute time frame. The Russell was the real shiner of the day, up another $1.81. Actually was trading a lot higher before it sold off with the whole market around that 2 o'clock time period. And the Russell ended up being up about 0.75% for the day. We saw the NASDAQ really struggle here. NVIDIA actually was up on the day of about 1.99%, almost 2%. We saw Meta this morning. I was shorting Meta at 686, and Meta actually dropped $24 off the high. So it was a pretty wild day in Meta. Today we saw Palantir have great patterns on the double blues and off the 15. Tesla, a real standout today. Tesla really up on the day, big here, over 6 points. Again, pushing up to the 1 point. Tesla's up 1.46%. The real pattern on Tesla was the 60-minute time frames getting oversold into the big buying pressure, rising ADX. Great pattern on Tesla. So really, what we saw here today, AMD acted like down about $1.60. Didn't really act well today, but we did see big buy reversals on the 30-minute time frames on NVIDIA and on Avago. So let me show you these patterns here for today. So what you saw here, first of all, looking at the 30 and the 60-minute time frames, you saw this big underlying buying here. And even when we got this push down here at 230 from the S&Ps trading at the 68.65 and pushed all the way down to 68.36, you can see the yellow dots were nowhere near reversing, looking to sell. Here you can see the push down, even on the spiders on the 60-minute time frame, push down here. But again, it was just really an unbelievable push up, a push down. Now, here was the real good short this morning. If you look here, you can see like I said last night, if you get a push up, the negative MACDs on any new high on the spiders are going to run into a wall of resistance, and that's exactly what happened. Like I said to you last night in the podcast, if we do gap up early in the morning, which we did, you're going to run into a brick wall, and that's exactly what happened. NVIDIA today, also another great short early on in the morning. We saw NVIDIA push up here this morning on the 60-minute time frames. This is, again, you're in a buy disconnect. The 60s and the 15s were bullish, and you can see the push up here into the negative MACDs. We shorted this perfectly, and it dropped about $2. You can see here, dropped about $2. But then we got this big buy reversal on NVIDIA on the 30-minute time frame. So let me just teach you this strategy, okay? The strategy here is when the algorithm reverses to buy, when the MACDs are above the pivot on the 15, 30, and 60, you take the short. Okay, we took the short, and immediately, it dropped, about $1. But then I said, look to buy the pullbacks on the 15-minute time frame. And on this drop, we were buying into here. So technically, this is the first pullback on the 15-minute time frame. The pullback meaning the deep oversold condition after the 30 reverse to buy. So now you're in a positive trend. And what happened? Look at the 30-minute time frame. NVIDIA rallied. Look at this NVIDIA rallied $1 at the end of the day. We saw Broadcom rally as well here today. Broadcom again rallying on the 30-minute time frame, and still a lot of underlying support. Here was the push down early on Broadcom. This is the push up on the opening here to 282. It got kabooshed. You can see the new high, and it drops very sharply here, about almost $3. And then once these 15s got deeply oversold, this is the first pullback on the 15-minute time frame after the 30 reversed to buy. Now in this pattern here, okay, the 60-minute time frames are still in sell mode. But let me just show you something. Do you see the selling pressure here? The reason why Broadcom didn't really get a big push up, even though you could have bought Broadcom here for a trade, you can see the big selling pressure here. Even though you got the buy disconnect, which is 2 time frames reversing to buy, correlating with the 15. The 60-minute time frame, still negative, but still big selling pressure, about a -9. So again, very, very, very weak, but still you got to go with the buy disconnect. But the move's not going to be really that great. Apple reverses to sell on the 60-minute time frame. Apple, you can see here. And what do you look to do? Well, we took a couple really good patterns off the 5-minute time frames. The 5-minute time frames were negative in the overbought conditions. And then what do you look here to do? Well, we took this short right here on the 15. This is the first bounce on the 15-minute time frame after the 60 correlated with the 30 and the 60 correlated with the 30 and the 15. The strategy is you short the first bounce on the 15, and that's exactly what happened. We caught Apple right near the highs and got kabooshed about 80 cents towards the end of the day. Also, I want to show you another great stock, Coinbase, here today. I was shorting Coinbase here today, right? Because when Coinbase was pushing up on the 30-minute time frame, the MACDs were not confirming the highs right here. You can see the new high here. Coinbase was not confirming the highs. Caught a really great short, but now the strategy is, even though you're still bullish on the 30 and the 60-minute time frames on Coinbase, what do you normally do? Well, you take when the algorithm reverses to sell, you take the first pullback on the 15, and guess what you do? You take the long, and Coinbase rallied about $3. So again, these patterns are were very, very good here today. Again, it was the absolute craziness that happened, and I'll show you this to you today. The S&P futures were trading here right around the 65 level here. Really right here, we got stopped on this. We got another stop, caught this long, got stopped in this short, got this short here, and then got this long here. But again, look at this drop here, 68.65 all the way down to 68.36. Rallies 26 to 62.75, drops 8, and then I eventually kept on shorting these bounces here to 60.61, and then look at the pullback here on the 5, and then rallied from 46 all the way up to 57. So a crazy day here today out of nowhere, and when you have light volume, that's what you're going to get. When I get back, I will tell you what I expect for tomorrow. So for tomorrow, again, these MACDs are negative on the 30 and 60-minute time frames. Very, very bearish here. So if we do get any push up here on the 30 and 60-minute time frame, again, I think the market's going to run into a brick wall, and I think these sell divergences on these time frames are going to win. We've been up for quite a few days now. We have about 17 days till the end of the year, business days that is, and I just think they're going to keep the market in this range. All right. When I get back, I want to tell you what's super important, especially after the volatility that we saw today. So when we saw this big volatility that came out of nowhere, no news, no nothing. There was rumors about Putin saying something, or this happening, or that happening. Nothing. We couldn't find anything. The market just fell out of bed. 29 points on the S&P, rallied 26 out of nowhere. And you know what? That's part of the game. It happens. You need to have your stop orders in. You need to have. You need to manage your risk, and it's important to understand that in volatile days. I remember what happened back in late March and early April of this year when the volatility was completely insane. The S&Ps were moving 20 points, and NASDAQ were moving 50, 60 points out of clip. So again, you have to maintain your stops, preservation of capital, so you can be back here and keep trading for the next day. All right. Thank you for joining me tonight on The Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly. Please hit the subscribe button. Please leave a comment. Also, if you'd like to join my website, and my community of traders from all around the world, my website is sktrading.live. Also, if you'd like to follow me on social media, please follow me on official Stephen Kalayjian on X, Instagram, and TikTok. I do not DM, so please be careful for that. Also, I like to say I'll be hosting the Asia session tonight from 8 to 10, so be there. And it's sponsored by My Fund of Futures. A great 2 hours. We have a lot of fun. I show the patterns and a lot of great opportunities. With that being said, also, I'd like to give out my phone number to help you, 914-500-7484. If anyone has any questions, please text me. With that being said, thank you, everyone. Have a great night. And again, God bless the United States of America. Good night, everybody.